morning, guys. We're back here. We're gonna plant some cherry trees. So come over here, I'll show you what we got. So we're in zone 8B. So they come up with a new hybrid, Stark Brothers did. It's a Carmine Jewel bush cherry. It's a dwarf, and it's supposed to do good in zone 8 here where we're at. So we'll see if that's actually true or not. But we're gonna try it. So we're gonna plant these guys today, and then we're gonna prune our apple trees also. Leave it a little low right here. That way whenever it does rain, it traps a little water and sends it straight down to the root system. And then we are done with that one. And that's the end of that. It's just that simple. So we're done planting our cherry tree. So what we're going to do is, now that the apple trees are dormant, we've never actually pruned these before, and it's getting about time too. They've been in the ground for about 4 years now. They're plenty established. We actually got quite a bit of fruit off this thing this past year, but being that it's got so much growth on it, it probably could have did better with less growth. So we're going to come in here and prune off some of these limbs, and then it's going to be a lot more abundant fruit on the existing limbs come next year. So when the limbs are too close together, you get an airflow problem, which breeds blight and mildew and some other diseases. Plus it gives insects like aphids and stuff like that. It gives it more places to hide from you. It also makes it harder to spray them to kill the aphids and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is, I cut this limb off because they're too close together. I think these two here are going to be fine. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to leave this one and this one because they're on opposite sides. I'm going to prune this one off, because that's going to grow out here and intertwine with this one. Okay. Now you can see this one here has got a split in it. So what I'm going to do is, this one's coming over the top of this one. I'm going to cut that half off. Okay, that's going to open up that section. Okay, and don't get too rambunctious on pruning. Sit here, study your tree, make up your mind on what you're going to do, because once you cut a limb, it's too late. And I know that from experience. Okay, see this little limb right here? We're going to get rid of that. It's pretty unnecessary at this point. And any new limbs that are trying to come out that you don't want, now is a good time to prune those off. See, like this one over here, it's really unnecessary, because it would have grown up here and intertwined with these. So I've pruned a fair amount on this. I've cut off about 1/3 of the limbs that were on here. And I think I'm going to call this one good for now. See, you can see a new bud growth coming right here. Come zoom in on this, Nikki. Being that it warmed back up, it froze and warmed back up. This is a result of what you'd call a false spring. See, it's putting off a new growth bud right there. So you're going to have that. If you want to get rid of that, now's a good time for that. I'm personally going to leave it. Okay. So you can see this one here is a lot messier. That one wasn't bad. That's a L Shimmer. That is a different variety. This one and that one over there are Anna apples. Okay. They got a lot more growth. You can see how they grow a lot different than the L Shimmer over there, but we needed the L Shimmer and these to cross-pollinate with each other. Okay, so I made up my mind on what I'm going to do. Both of these are coming straight up. They're growing straight up in the middle of all these other limbs. there's plenty more growth up here to put off fruit. I'm going to cut both of these off because if you come over here and see, it's coming up in the middle. As these limbs get bigger, they're just going to rub and it's going to create an issue there. So I'm just going to cut both of these off, and plus for cutting the grass around here, these lower limbs is going to make it a lot more difficult. Okay. Now we do have some prune sealer. I'm going to come over here and paint these with that prune sealer just to keep it from rotting right there. It'll seal it off, and then until it has time to grow some bark over the top of it, because that could cause, as big as that limb was, that could cause it to rot right there. See this little limb here? I've already got a nice crotch right here with plenty of growth. I've got another crotch right here. I'm going to cut, and you can tell by the color on that bark, that grew this past growing season. And you're going to have to continually prune these off every year. They're going to try to come up in different places. Okay, so right here, I'm going to cut this fork off. Okay, I'm going to leave this branch. Now I'm going to prune this off of this particular branch here. Okay, and I'm going to cut this one off. I want all my growth going up and out. Okay. See how this one's coming over here and interfering with these? Okay, I'm going to cut that one off. In case y'all think I'm going a little bit too extreme, I'm really not. When this thing put off fruit last year, it really struggled because it had a lot of fruit and too much growth for the root system to keep up with. The tree couldn't keep up with everything. Okay, now, this limb here is broke off. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of it. Okay, so I got a nice limb coming out this way. This one's coming up and out. So what I'm probably gonna do here is this fork right here, because I want my limbs coming out on the lower ones. Okay, that's gonna make a nice canopy. So I'm gonna cut that off. Okay. All right, so I'm looking here. I think I'm going to prune this off of here because it's going to come up and into those, okay? No biggie. Okay, see that's nice and opened up now. Everything's going to come out. It's not going to interfere with everything. I am going to work on this one here a little bit. You can see we got some new growth coming here. I'm going to cut that off. And then this one's coming out here. It shouldn't interfere with everything. I'm going to cut this one off right there, okay? And I'm going to cut these two little lower ones off here. Like I said, these fruit trees have never been pruned. I should have did it before, but I travel for work a lot, and some things just don't work out the way you want them to. All right, so this limb here, I'm going to leave it, but I'm going to cut this one off. You can see it's coming straight up in the middle of everything else, and it's just going to interfere. Okay, I'm going to cut that off. All right, now I'm back over here kind of where I started. I'm just walking around. I keep assessing the tree till I'm happy with it. I'm going to walk around it again and assess what I did. And as you can tell, we have taken quite a bit off the tree. That's going to make it a lot healthier, and it's going to help it to keep up with growth this coming year. Okay, I think I'm going to leave the rest of that and see how it works out this coming year. And like I said, what you can do is you can see how it grows once it gets all its leaves and stuff. You can actually come out here with some flagging and flag the ones that you want to cut the next fall when the tree goes dormant. You know what I mean? You can see how it goes. If you see one that's not going to work out, instead of cutting it and stressing the tree when it's active, just put a piece of flag on it or paint it with something, a paint marker or whatnot, then you know you need to cut that one in the fall. And I think I'm going to leave the rest of that. I think that's pruned back pretty good. Okay, so we're going to seal the cuts. We're using Spectricide. prune sealer. And it's mainly these bigger ones, because that's such a large surface area, it could really cause it to start rotting there, and it could rot into the trunk and make a hollow, which is going to weaken your tree overall. So, and that's going to dry on there. Okay, I'm going to do some of these littler ones too. If you ever hit the tree with a lawnmower and knock the bark off of it, come seal it with this too. That's going to protect it. Okay. As you can see, I hit the bark on that tree with the lawnmower and I sealed it, and you can tell that was back earlier this year, and you can tell it's already grown new bark. But if I hadn't have sealed it with this, it wouldn't have done nearly that good. Okay, I'll do these. That'll do it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next video.